This video is brought to you by Spigen. Today I'm going to share my thoughts after switching to the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip6, featuring big upgrades to the design, display, battery, camera, and performance. After 4 weeks of using the Flip 6, I can say that unlike the previous Flip 5, choosing the folding form factor of the Flip 6 no longer feels like a compromise, and this is a big deal. But still, this phone is not perfect, and there are some things that you should know about before buying, all of which I'm going to be covering in today's video. The Flip 6 starts at $1,099, which is $100 more than the Flip 5 for 256 gigabytes. It comes in a range of bright summery colors, so I chose silver to match the London skies. As always, I will leave the purchase links down in the description. I've really been enjoying using the Flip 6, having a phone that is so compact that can then also unfold to a full-size 6.7-inch smartphone remains to be something special. When closed, the phone is half the size of the S24 Ultra or the 15 Pro Max, albeit a bit thicker. And you really feel this difference in the pocket. It just feels much more comfortable and you barely notice it is even there. And ladies, I know that women's clothes, for whatever reason, always seem to have very small pockets, if any at all, and for this, the small form factor of the Flip 6 is very convenient. Compared to last year, the Flip 6 now features a more squared off design for a cleaner look, and the frame is now made from Samsung's enhanced armor aluminum for better scratch resistance. I like the matte texture, and so far my Flip 6 has held up very well with no scratches, unlike the previous Flip 5, which did show some scratches after just a couple of weeks of use. The back and cover screen feature Gorilla Glass Victus 2, more on the cover screen soon, and we get the same fingerprint sensor on the right hand side. Now this works well, but especially as someone who is left-handed, I would have much preferred to have an underscreen fingerprint sensor. Compared to the Flip 5, the hinge also sticks out a bit less, but I wish the Flip 6 had the same super compact hinge of the Fold 6. The Flip 6 requires 2 hands to open, but can be closed with just one, a very satisfying way to end a call. But with any folding phone, the hinge along with the main screen remain to be one of the 2 weak points. Now, in all fairness, today the hinge of my Flip 6 feels smooth to operate, and from experience with good care, my previous Fold 5's hinge still felt smooth after a year of use. But I have seen examples online of people whose hinge gets stuck or harder to open after just 1 to 2 years, so your mileage may vary. To hopefully help with long-term durability, the Flip 6 is now IP48 water and for the first time also dust resistant. I previously described the cover screen as a little bit like having a smartwatch on your phone, and this I think is still true. I use the cover screen throughout the day for quick tasks like to preview a notification or even write a quick reply to a message, for which the keyboard is just big enough for a line of text, but not much more. New to the Flip 6, you can also create custom widget panels to see more info at a glance. I like to see reminders, my calendar, as well as my step counter. Samsung have also introduced a myriad of new AI features, which I'll touch on throughout the video. One of which is live translation, where you can have the Flip half open, speak to it, and then show the person you're talking to what you said in their language on the cover screen. A great use of the folding form factor. To take the functionality of the cover screen even further, you can also use Good Lock to run basically any app on this screen. I like that the option is there, but this is something I rarely use. And this is mostly because of the size of the cover screen, which has remained the same. I would have loved to see Samsung make this a little bit larger to make it more enjoyable to use. What I do very much enjoy using the cover screen for is as a preview for selfies. This lets you use the main cameras for great quality images and easily line up your shot using the cover screen. And outdoors, this is made even better since the cover screen on the Flip 6 is now a lot brighter, going up to 2600 nits versus 1750 nits on the Flip 5. And this awesome brightness is also carried over to the main screen, where it is even more impactful since the main screen on these folding phones is naturally more reflective, and the higher brightness helps counteract these reflections when outdoors. And this large 6.7-inch screen is an absolute joy to use. Colors look fantastic, the 120Hz refresh rate is buttery smooth, and the tall aspect ratio allows for lots of screen space, making reading messages and articles a breeze. Even if that means reaching the top corners of your display is going to require a bit of hand gymnastics. The main folding screen can also be partially folded to prop up your phone like a built-in tripod. This is great to watch a YouTube video, say at your desk, while the video shows on the top screen that's angled towards you, the media controls will be shown in the lower half. I do wish the bezels could be thinner as they are on the thicker side, but I was very happy to see that Samsung have made the crease not only less visible but also less noticeable when swiping across the screen. You can still see it when looking from the side, but head on the crease is less visible than before, and again you also feel it less when scrolling, which for me is equally important. What is also good to see is Samsung have added a new coating to the main screen to help with scratch resistance. So far, after some weeks, my screen has held up well, but like the hinge, the main screen too is a weak point. Like I mentioned on my Fold 6 review, with enough pressure, your nails can still leave permanent damage. While it is good to see Samsung improve the durability of their folding phones each year, the reality is, like with the Fold 6 that I reviewed earlier, these folding phones are still going to be more fragile than any non-folding phone. So my advice is to use this phone with a bit more care to help it last. We'll have to wait and see how the Fold 6 specifically holds up over time, so be sure to subscribe to not miss my long-term review. For now, to protect your Flip 6, be sure to add Spigen's excellent accessories, which are certified by Samsung for a guaranteed perfect fit. Starting with what has become my go-to case, this is the AirSkin Aramid. Made of a highly durable 1500 denier Kevlar Aramid fiber, and at just 0.9mm, this is as thin and light as it gets, giving that satisfying, almost caseless feel in the hand, while still providing protection from day-to-day wear with raised edges around the cameras. And then for truly next level protection, there is the Tough Armor Pro, providing full coverage even over the hinge. And what is really cool is the hinge cover unfolds into a built-in kickstand, which is great for watching videos at your desk or while traveling. The case also uses Spigen's air cushion technology in each corner for maximum drop protection. The Ultra Hybrid Pro crystal clear case is perfect to show off and let the original color of your Flip 6 shine through. The clear case still provides full coverage, including over the hinge, and has air cushion technology, all while being slim and lightweight. And then to top it off, simply add the Glass TR Ease Fit screen protector. I've been using Spigen screen protectors for several years now, mainly because of how easy they are to install in just 3 steps with the included frame, the 9-inch hardness for durability, and the oleophobic coating to keep your screen free from scratches and smudges. Plus, you get 2 in the box. So to protect your Flip 6 with Spigen, be sure to head to the links in the description today. This brings me to the camera, an area where the Flip 6 gets a big upgrade, now featuring the same 50-megapixel main sensor as from the S24 and Fold 6, along with some upgrades to the wide lens too. And this means you no longer sacrifice camera quality on a Galaxy flip phone. About time for the price. The most important upgrade to the camera is that 50-megapixel main lens, which is now 4 times sharper than on the Fold 5, allowing for much better detail, a difference you see in every photo. Plus, the sensor is larger too, which means it lets in more light and results in less noise in lower light scenarios. I also found the color profile on the Flip 6 to be a step forward in terms of the accuracy, producing a more true-to-life image. The 12-megapixel ultra-wide is also sharper than before, particularly around the edges, and has better low-light performance. Of course, the one thing that is missing from the Flip 6 compared to the S24 is a dedicated 3x telephoto lens, but I've got to say, I don't really miss it. And this is because the 50-megapixel main lens is so good now that using the 2x digital crop works very well too, for portraits as well as product photography. You can technically zoom at up to 10x, but this is more to read a sign in the distance than it is to take an actual photo. The selfie camera delivers decent quality, but the beauty of a flip phone like this is again how easy it is to use that main sensor and cover screen to get amazing quality selfies. Plus, the nice square shape of the fold when closed is so nice and easy to hold and to get a good grip. 4K 60fps video shot on the Fold 6 is solid too, with good image stabilization and accurate autofocus. Another area I want to talk about are the new photo AI features that Samsung introduced with the Fold 6. The first is Sketch to Image, letting you draw an object on your photo for which an AI image will then be generated. As you can see, some examples are better than others, but when it gets it right, the results can look really quite convincing. And then there's also Photo Studio, which transforms a picture of yourself into a cartoon sketch. I find this kind of strange. In some ways it is surprisingly accurate, but then in other ways less so. Of course, the Flip 6 also packs existing photo AI features, like having the ability to move or remove objects. Now, this is something that I do use from time to time. All the AI photo features aside, the real highlight with the Flip 6 when it comes to the cameras is going to be that new 50-megapixel main lens. With last year's Flip 5, it really felt like you had to compromise on the camera despite paying a higher price, but this year with the Flip 6, that really is no longer the case. Another area where you do not compromise with the Flip 6 is performance. And that is because the Flip 6 features the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, which is the same chip as on the Fold 6 as well as the S24 Ultra. It also packs a new vapor chamber for better cooling, and you now get 12GB of RAM. From a raw data perspective, in Geekbench 6, we see a roughly 22% improvement in multi-core performance when compared to the Flip 5. Well, what does all this mean? Well, the Flip 6 runs and feels like a top-end phone. Everything from switching between apps to heavier tasks like gaming feels swift and fluid, no compromises here. On top of the photo AI features that we looked at earlier, the Flip 6 adds even more, such as new text features letting you essentially type in a prompt and the AI will generate a paragraph about that subject. And of course, we still get the AI features introduced with the S24, like circle to search as well as custom wallpaper generation. Like with all AI features, some of these are going to be genuinely useful and others you try once and never use again. But for me, what remains fascinating is to see how this tech evolves over time. Like with the Fold 6, for the Flip 6, Samsung promises up to 7 years of software support and updates, which is great, but whether the hardware will last that long is a separate question. Still, long software support is always welcome. Now, battery life was never a selling point of the Flip phone, but with the Flip 6, Samsung has really improved this. For me, the Flip 6 can last all day without needing a charge, ending the day with around 15 to 20% remaining. And this is thanks to a now larger 4000 mAh battery, which is around 10% larger compared to last year. I would describe the battery life on the Flip 6 to be a bit less than the S24, but not far off. Samsung have made these folding phones now for years, and each year they keep getting better. The Flip 6 brings some important upgrades to key areas like the camera, display, performance, and battery life, which means you no longer compromise on these areas when choosing this folding phone. And this to me is why the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 is a worthy upgrade if you're coming from a Flip 2 or even a Flip 3, and an excellent first flip phone if you're looking for a super compact phone that doesn't compromise on flagship performance. Let me know if you have any questions at all. As always, I will leave the purchase links down in the description. And if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you check out my Fold 6 review, which I'll leave on screen right now. Thanks so much for watching, and take care.